Good evening. We just came from Trout Lake, decided not to stay the night there. Came down about a mile down the trail, and I am currently standing on this bridge overlooking this beautiful stream. I think it's called Salmon Creek. And so we have water and beautiful stream noises. There's the trail ahead, and Pierre, as you can see, is setting up the tent. Usually we do it together, but we thought, oh, let's give the audience a little snapshot of what it looks like to put up the tent. So I'm gonna walk down there. It is mosquito-y, so not as bad as it was last night, that's for sure. But we definitely, or at least I, cherish solitude. And being in Trout Lake, they have a general store, which was really geared to backpackers. It was wonderful. They had a little backyard area that they allow backpackers to camp at. However, you can't set up your tent till dusk, which is really too late for us. And there were other hikers there who were gonna set up camp, and they were drinking, and it just wasn't the environment that either of us like to necessarily be in. We did have the option to camp at a campground, but we thought, we want to be alone and in the woods and starting down the trail. So there was a shuttle that was leaving at 5, so we decided to take that. Got all our food resupply done. We're out for another 3 days plus a little bit. Probably have some mac and cheese tonight, and get on down the trail tomorrow. So this is what our tent looks like, almost set up. We got the fly. Tonight we usually open up the windows, especially because it's so warm. It's supposed to be in the hundreds, at least at lower elevation. This week, so good for snow melt, but warm to hike in, that's for sure. What our inside tent looks like, and then we set up our blow-up mattresses, and someday we'll show a complete view of that, a viewing of us setting up our tent. But anyway, have a good night. Good morning. This day after, our first day out of Trout Lake. We just entered the Mount Adams Wilderness, and we're apparently doing a big climb to start the day, which is always good to get it out of the way. Climbing up to where in Oregon we would have seen snow, but apparently there isn't any up here, so we're happy about that. Like, it's going to be another beautiful day, though probably pretty warm. And had a nice breakfast and walking through the woods once again. It's always nice to have cover when it's a warm day, though, for sure. Anything to add, Pierre?
No, just looking forward to some good views today.
Get you down the trail.
When we get there.
So we topped out. We're at, I don't know, 6,000 some feet.
Wait a second now. 6,010.
6,010 feet, and I'm going to give you a pano. This is a viewpoint, a lookout area. So I'll pano what's around us. We got one that I just showed you of the volcanoes. 2 of the volcanoes, Mount Saint Helens. Mount Hood. And Mount Adams, which is right there.
Good morning. We just finished our snack and sitting here looking up at Mount Adams, the majestic mountain that it is, and just can't help but be inspired by the beauty of nature and think about where you fit in the grand scheme of things, and you realize as a human how sort of tiny and insignificant you are. So we're headed back down the trail. We're gonna have a few river crossings coming up ahead. They're always gonna be exciting. Hopefully we'll get some video, and they're exciting, but not too exciting. See you down on the trail. We're making our way around Mount Adams. There's the northwest face. If you can look, you can see some glaciers on the left side. And then right in the center there, you can see the Bergstrom, which is this little scar. That's where the glacier breaks away from the mountain. And that's another glacier located there. We'll be seeing the runoff from these glaciers as we cross the streams, like I mentioned, later on this afternoon. Good morning. Today is a positioning day. We have about 20 miles of hiking, and we're hiking around the edge of the Yakima Indian Reservation and get us to the Goat Rock Wilderness, which we'll be entering towards the end of the day today. And we'll have a campsite, in theory, that will be epic, and that will have us in position to do the knife's edge, which is the thing to do in the Goat Rocks tomorrow morning. Today we had a lovely conversation with a lasher from Minnesota. This woman who has taken 5 weeks to hike the Washington section of the PCT. It's pretty cool. You're in the middle of the wilderness, meeting people from all over who share something in common, which is the appreciation of the wilderness.
Haven't done much videoing. This morning we were walking through woods and the mosquitoes are just horrendous. So you stop for just a second, even while you're walking, they're horrible. Right through the shirt, right? It's just peak mosquito season here, and it's super warm. Also kind of, I guess humid, I guess you could say. But I'm in an opening here, and as you can see, finally got some views after climbing for a while. And here comes Pierre down the trail. So nice standing right here. There's a breeze and no mosquitoes.
Sure.
And a beautiful view. Thank you for getting out of our way, Snake.
We've gotten out of this basin of trees. Just want to show you So we came from over there, then down along the ridge line, then down through this area here, and now we're making it up the side of this mountain over here. And we're going up the Cuspus Pass, which will be around the corner. If you look in the background right over there, you can see a little bit of Mount Adams. We've had a few patches of snow, nothing of consequence, but this is the way we're going, and we'll show you what it looks like when we get to the top of the climb. We just had lunch. Still got about another 1,500 feet over the next 3 miles of climbing. But this is a beautiful late July afternoon in the Goat Rocks wilderness as we make our way up to Cuspus Pass. This is typical sort of shot of the day. Just walking along a path that has a slight uphill grade in amongst the trees, and it's just beautiful.
Great source of water, direct from the spout, no filter needed. We always love that. Nice and cool water for our big climb that's to come. So we just stopped, we had lunch. It's a really hot day, probably into the 90s. So we're sweating pretty good because we're continuing to climb. Got a beautiful valley view with some mountains. What we did is we stopped at a stream and we dunked our shirts in, dunked our heads in, so our shirts will at least keep us cool for a little while as we move up the trail. It's really wonderful to see all of the wildflowers in bloom. I mean, they are just full bloom. So when you walk through a green field like this, it's just spectacular.
Well, this is now getting very, very interesting. Should I go that way? Oh, what an exciting space to be in.
We are at Cuspus Pass. Just finished our long climb. It was about 8 miles. And this is our view from this side of the pass. You can just see the trail over on that side as it goes around. And then Pierre's sitting there having a snack, well deserved. This side had a little bit more snow. This is the view from the other side. Pretty amazing. We have maybe 3 more miles and we'll be at camp and relax, probably in the tent because of mosquitoes. But pretty cool.
After the pass, as Renee said, we're along the trail, and then the trail goes down around that corner, and then we lose some elevation, it goes down there, and we'll be camping over on that ridge line over there someplace. But this is the whole valley of the Goat Rocks. It's where we've come from. It's really quite a stunning space, well worth the effort. And in the far distance there, you can see Mount Saint Helens through the haze.
We worked to get to our camp spot tonight, but this is our view. It's wonderful. That's one direction. the other direction. You're gonna sleep without a fly tonight. It's so beautiful. And lots of water draining from all the melting snow.
Mosquito level moderate.
Mosquito level moderate. Still hot even though we're at elevation. But yeah, this is just a gorgeous sight. And we're gonna get all unpacked and have some dinner. The sun is setting. This is a view from our tent. It's almost 8:30. There it goes. We're so lucky.
Good morning. We're getting up and getting ready for the start of our day. I really liked this campsite last night. We had the stars out. And there is Mount Adams over there. The sun's starting to shine on it. Mount Saint Helens in the distance there. There is our tent, our little tent spot. We didn't sleep with the fly on last night. Got to see the stars. We have to walk across this snow here. And right above us was the Little Dipper and the North Star. So that was pretty neat to see. All the water that was just gurgling out from last night at the melt is now slowed down to just a trickle. But as the day goes on, this water will just get bigger and bigger as the snow continues to melt. We're going to have breakfast, and then we're going to head towards the knife's edge and see what the next section of trail will bring us. Hopefully it won't be too challenging.
Good morning. It's about 7:30. We're getting started for the day. The sun just came up over the mountain, revealing this just amazing panorama. This view. Got Mount Adams, and then we've got Mount Saint Helens over in the distance there. All kinds of mountains in between. We are heading up to the knife's edge, and we'll definitely catch you up when we're there. Still some snow, but we've heard that it's very easy to navigate, so we're happy about that.
So we're getting close to the knife's edge. There's Mount Rainier in the distance. Over to the left, in that bowl area over there, there's a lake that's called Goat Lake. You can actually sort of see some water coming down, a waterfall off of it. But that lake, at least from here, looks to be frozen over. This is quite the exposed little section of trail. It's really quite wonderful. So as we said, we got Rainier over there. And then there's a little bit of Saint Helens. And then over the top of the bushes is Mount Adams. There's a campsite just below in the trees here. Actually, you can see it right down in the corner. It would definitely be an exposed campsite for the adventure seeker.
So here we are, just to show you the edge. This is the path. As you can see, it goes down that way, and then it goes down that way. So you're literally right on the edge of this jagged thing the whole time. It's about 1.5 miles.
Coming off the last bit of snow from the Goat Rocks, and then we'll be descending down in this valley, making our way towards White Pass.
We are just about ready to have break. Pierre's going to grab some water. There's lots of water from snow melt around here. And this is our lovely view. A few more mosquitoes, but not nearly as much as it would be down below. We're going to take advantage of that and enjoy this beautiful spot. We are just about to finish our climb for the afternoon. It's a long and steep one. We are rewarded with, we're on a ridge, and here is one side of the ridge, beautiful lake, and there's the path, and then here's the other side, another view of Mount Rainier. It's a little different from this morning. And there's where we came from.
We got about half mile to the trailhead of White Pass, and then we'll try to get our way to the Cracker Barrel, and then we'll hitchhike into Packwood, where we'll spend the night, and the next day resupplying, cleaning up, and getting ready for the next section. Today was a really great hike. The last half, a little bit hot. Apparently there's a heat wave, and as we're losing elevation, we're getting more and more heat. But overall, it was a really good section. I think the Goat Rocks, Renee and I would both agree, have been one of the highlights so far of this adventure, and definitely we're putting a pin on the map to go and revisit the Goat Rocks and explore that wilderness area in the future. So we'll chat with you maybe when we get into town, and if not, we'll try to post this video as soon as possible and get on trail and show you the next section, which I believe is to Skykomish.